I get the how do I start investing question a lot. Another one that's worth thinking about is what do I invest in? So here's exactly how I'd invest my first $1,000 in Singapore in 2026. I consistently tell anyone who's starting their investing journey, or even those of us who are already on it, to keep it simple. That's because simplicity tends to lead to less mental stress and a lot of the time better long-term outcomes. So with that in mind, I just whacked that $1,000 into a low-cost Straits Times Index ETF that tracks the top 30 companies listed on SGX by their value. There are a couple of reasons I do this. First off, the ETF is priced in Singapore dollars, which means no faffing about with exchanging currencies, something you don't want to think about when investing just $1,000. Second, it allows you to get a taster of how stock markets actually work by observing and being invested in Singapore companies that we're all familiar with, names like DBS, Singtel, ST Engineering, and Sembcorp Industries. Added to that is the fact that Singapore stocks have actually done relatively well over the long term. In fact, from 1966 to the end of 2022, they gave investors a real return, so that's after taking into account inflation, of an annualized 5.4%. That's not far off the US stock's long-term annualized return of 6.4%. Finally, we have the low cost of buying any of the two Straits Times Index ETFs, either the Spider Straits Times Index ETF, which has a ticker ES3, or the Amover Singapore STI ETF, which has a ticker G3B. This means it's super easy to get started with a small amount of money. Any of the low-cost digital brokers from Moomoo and Tiger through to Interactive Brokers Singapore gives you the ability to buy as little as one share of an ETF listed on SGX. So there you have it, how I'd invest $1,000 in Singapore in 2026 if I was starting out. Getting a taster of your local stock market is a great way to begin and will then give you the confidence to invest globally, which should be our long-term aim. If you want to learn more about how stock markets work, what rubbish products we need to avoid out there, and how to automate our investing in a stress-free manner, then just join my latest Investing Made Simple workshop via the link in my bio.